Kaylarden never intended to fight for honor, glory, or destiny. He only stepped into the arena because there was no other way out. The station of Virex Prime floated at the edge of civilized space, a sprawling alien metropolis built around an ancient dueling complex older than most known empires. Merchants, mercenaries, and nobles crossed paths there, bound not by shared values but by the iron weight of alien law. Kale had come as a freelance human pilot, hired to transport rare minerals. He planned to leave within 48 hours. Instead, he was accused of sabotage by a wealthy alien noble named Shurakal Veth. The charge was false. Kale knew it. The station authorities likely knew it too. But Shurakal was powerful, one of the Triarch elite, owners of fleets, industries, and political leverage stretching across multiple systems. Kale was nothing more than a human outsider. Under Virex law, disputes involving honor and accusation could be settled by single combat. Refuse, and the accused forfeited their life. Kale stood in the preparation chamber, staring at his reflection in the curved metallic wall. The armor they'd given him was functional but bare, no insignia, no ceremonial markings. Across the chamber, Shurakal Veth prepared in silence, towering and armored in gilded plating that marked his status. His eyes burned with confidence. "You understand the terms?" the arbiter asked. Kale nodded. "Victory absolves me." "And defeat," the arbiter replied. Kale swallowed. "Death." The arena gates opened. The duel was brutal and fast. Shurakal fought with centuries of training, his alien physiology granting him strength and reach Kale couldn't match. But Kale had survived pirate ambushes, asteroid storms, and war zones. He fought not with elegance, but with instinct. The turning point came when Shurakal underestimated him. A feint. A stumble. A moment of arrogance. Kale drove his blade through a weak seam in the noble's armor. The arena fell silent as Shurakal collapsed, lifeless, his golden armor dimming. Kale stood there, chest heaving, stunned by his own survival. Then the crowd began to murmur. Not with anger. With shock. The arbiter raised a hand. By the laws of Virex Prime, the victor stands absolved. The defeated forfeits all claims, titles, and holdings. Kale relaxed, until the arbiter continued. Additionally, per Triarch succession code, the victor inherits custodial responsibility over the defeated noble's bonded lives. Kale frowned. Bonded lives? Two figures were escorted into the arena. They were unlike anything Kale had seen. Tall, elegant, their skin marked with bioluminescent patterns that shifted subtly with emotion. One had eyes like liquid gold, calm but piercing. The other's gaze was sharper, guarded, burning with restrained fury. They wore ceremonial garments that marked them not as property, but as bound partners. Shurakal Veth's bonded wives, the arbiter declared. Era and Nici Veth. Kale's stomach dropped. That's not possible. I didn't agree to. Alien law does not require agreement, the arbiter replied coldly. You defeated him in single combat. His bonds transfer to you. You are now legally responsible for their protection, status, and fate. The crowd watched with fascination as Kale stared at the two alien women whose lives had just been tied to his by a blade he never wanted to raise. Era bowed her head slightly. Nici did not. This is a mistake, Kale said. Nici stepped forward. No, she said sharply. This is tradition. They were taken to Shurakal's estate, a vast structure of crystal, metal, and living architecture overlooking the station's inner sun. Kale felt like an intruder walking through halls meant for power and luxury. Servants bowed. Guards watched him with open confusion. Era spoke first once they were alone. You are afraid, she said gently. I killed your husband, Kale replied. I don't expect kindness. Era's bioluminescence softened. Shurakal was not kind. He was powerful. There is a difference. Nici folded her arms. Do not mistake calm for acceptance, human. Our bond to him was law, not love. Now that bond is rewritten. Kale ran a hand through his hair. I don't want ownership over anyone. Nici's eyes narrowed. Then you will have to survive the consequences of refusing it. They explained the truth that night. Under Triarch law, bonded partners were not possessions, but political anchors. Their existence stabilized power structures, alliances, and bloodlines. If Kale rejected responsibility, rival houses could claim them, or worse, eliminate them to erase Shurakal's legacy. You didn't just kill a noble, Nici said. You shattered a web of power. And now, Era added softly, we are exposed. Kale realized then that victory hadn't freed him. It had trapped him in something far larger. News spread quickly. Some houses challenged Kale's legitimacy. Others sought to manipulate him. Whispers followed him through the station, the human who killed a triarch, the outsider bound to alien wives. Kale tried to leave Virex Prime. He was blocked. Custodial bonds active, the station AI informed him. Departure without bonded lives prohibited. Nicey laughed bitterly. Congratulations. You're trapped. But danger came sooner than politics. An assassination attempt struck 3 nights later. Elite operatives breached the estate, targeting Era first. Kale reacted without thinking, grabbing a weapon, dragging her behind cover, firing with precision born of years in deep space. Nicey joined him, moving with lethal grace, her training obvious. When it was over, bodies lay scattered across the marble floors. Era trembled slightly. They would have killed us to destabilize the succession. Kale looked at the blood on his hands. Then they'll have to go through me first. That was the moment something shifted. Not ownership. Responsibility. Days turned into weeks. Kale learned alien politics, not from books, but from survival. He attended councils. Deflected challenges. Refused to be baited into dominance displays that would confirm every xenophobic fear about humans. Instead, he listened. Era guided him through diplomacy, her calm presence smoothing volatile encounters. Nicey trained him relentlessly, teaching him triarch combat doctrine, strategy, and how to read alien tells in negotiations. You're not weak, Nicey admitted one evening after sparring. You're different. Is that an insult? Kale asked. She shook her head. No. It confuses them. That makes you dangerous. Slowly, the station's perception changed. Kale didn't claim power. He earned influence. But the final challenge came from the High Succession Council itself. They summoned him to justify his bond. You are an anomaly, the speaker declared. A human with no lineage, no noble claim. Kale stood straight. I fought under your law. I won under your law. If that makes me unworthy, then your system is broken. Silence followed. Era stepped forward. We stand by him. Nicey followed. Not by force. By choice. That declaration sent ripples through the chamber. Choice was dangerous. Choice was revolutionary. The council ruled narrowly in Kale's favor. The bond remained. But with a condition. The bonds may evolve, the speaker said. But only if all lives consent. Outside the chamber, Kale exhaled heavily. I won't trap you, he said to them both. If you want freedom, I'll find a way. Era smiled sadly. Freedom is not always separation. Nicey met his gaze. You didn't bind us. The duel did. What you've done since, that's different. Months later, Kale stood once more in the arena, not as a fighter, but as a witness. Reforms were announced. Succession laws rewritten. Bonds redefined as partnerships, not obligations. Drakal's shadow finally faded. On the observation deck of the estate, Kale looked out at the stars. I came here to make a delivery, he said quietly. Nicey smirked. And instead you changed a system. Era placed a hand over his. One combat changed your fate. Kale nodded. And bound me to 2 lives I never expected. Above them, ships crossed the void, new paths forming where old ones had broken. For the first time since the duel, Kale didn't feel trapped. He felt chosen.